Hello, blessed star family, soul family. I want to talk to you about a lot of things. Um, and I would like to dedicate this episode to Selena Gomez because I was trying to do something else and my phone, took over like it does and brought me to YouTube. I was trying to go to my camera, I went to the YouTube app, and the first thing that came up was this little shorts with Selena Gomez. She looked beautiful, and they're like, watch this. And I'm like, I'll watch it later. It's like, no, watch it right now. And I watched it, and it was from a show or a concert or something. And she is singing, and all of a sudden, she just like stops singing. She gets really emotional, and her fans keep singing for her. Such a beautiful moment. I've been trying not to cry. I noticed when I was on Facebook, when I was on Instagram, and YouTube, but definitely when I was on Instagram, because that's when I had my biggest following. I had 1,500 followers, and I only knew maybe 300 people, like, knew them. And a lot of those followers, like, really chimed in. There was a lot of great conversations. I felt really honored and blessed. I thought when I moved over to YouTube, they were just going to come with me. It didn't happen that way. Or maybe they did and they just, um, don't subscribe. I don't know. Anyway, if you're here, I love you. Thank you for being here. You don't have to subscribe. If you're incognito, that's okay too. You don't have to comment or like or anything like that. It does help the algorithms, but like that's not what this is about. Subscribing, all that, of course it helps the algorithms, right? It's like the more, right? Because they're like, oh wait, let's bring the attentions over here, let's bring the attention over here. And that's all that shit is. It's just like, it's about attention. Where's the attention going? Where's our attention going? What's happening right now? And I've been noticing that my attention and my attention span is like, um, it's so vast and so big on some levels, and on other levels it is just this. And right now in Gemini season, being with the triple Gemini, whose birthday is just a few days away now, it's just been like overwhelming. We've been doing a lot of adventures. It's been super fun ever since our anniversary. Like, we've just been, I knew May was going to be like this for so many reasons, of my own personal stuff, but then, losing my aunt, and then, losing the queen, Tina. I can't, I mean, I've cried for her, but I really just can't, like, I haven't cried heavy because I'm not sad for her. If I cry heavy, it's for me because, like, I'm sad that I, missed her concert, and I had tickets to her concert, and I couldn't go, and I was just like devastated. And I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to see her again. I'll see her in concert again. And then it never happened, blah, blah, blah. So if anything, I'm sad that I didn't get to see her. But growing up, I did see her, like she was on television and things, before there was like cable and all that. It was like, luckily my parents were pretty like cool. They watched most like modern, stuff, and like the Sonny and Cher show and things like that. So, and I'm just like glued to the television, I'm just like, so, my icons are Tina Turner and Cher. I mean, these are my icons because I'm 51 years old. That's what I saw. That was what was in front of me, blessed be. I heard Janis Joplin on the radio. I, heard Jimi Hendrix. I, like, these were people, these artists that were just so sublime and so, and to be a true artist, you really have to lay it all out there. You can't just push a little bit. You got to like go all the way in. However, it depends on your creative outlet. It depends on what you're doing. And if you need to take some time and you need to do what you need to do, I didn't realize Snoopy was going to act as my apron shirt because I'm out of tissues right now. They didn't have my favorite tissues at the store, and I can't use the chemical stuff on my face. I just can't do it. I don't like, everything in my house is as chemical free as I could possibly make it. And I encourage you to do the same. It changes everything. Same with our bodies, our minds, our soul, like everything. But what really put the fire in my belly is in the last 24 hours, I've seen 2 snippets of Satguru that I was just like, what is happening? And I remember when I started to um, kind of bump heads with some of my mentors and some of my teachers, my shamans, like as I was my gurus, as I was, moving more and more towards my purpose and what I needed to do and what my life was and blah 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 blah. And I'm realizing now that I'm everything, like my channels right now, it's like I'm just like a little marionette. I'm just like a little marionette of like me, my child me, the like my human self, and my soul's purpose, but then also as like, working on a higher, kind of plane, a higher level. Um and not than everybody. I'm just saying, like, then what I remember, you know what I mean? I've come into this. This is who I've become. So I would, my famous thing is I didn't come out of a box like this, from Roseanne, because everyone like talks about how awesome Dan is. In the original Roseanne series, was it the 80s or 90s? And everybody would tell her how great Dan was, her husband, and she's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And basically she said that, but they couldn't say fuck back then on TV. And she's like, he didn't come out of a box like that. She's like, that's 20 years of me like molding that clay. And so it's like same for me. It's like this has been 51 years of molding, and unpacking is like my new favorite terminology, because it's true. It's like I'm unpacking so much shit, so much baggage, so much attachment to things, feelings, emotions, people, places, things. Realizing, I've been out in public so much lately. I ran into this woman yesterday at Cape Flattery, who was mourning the loss of her best friend, her Australian Shepherd, whose name was Star, her daughter named Star. And what are the odds that I see her? I could just tell she looked, kind of sad. And I was like, "Do you want me to take a picture of you?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I would love that." So I was taking pictures of her and stuff. And then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot. I'm so sorry." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, and she had her dog's paw print in, clay. Ugh, I mean, my heart just like bust wide open. But I mean, I don't know if you guys know this or not, or those of you who've walked with me, if you remember this or not, but my daughter who died, her name was Star. Like what are, you know what I mean? It's like when she said that, I just looked at her, and then she just needed to talk for a while, and I was like, "Dude, I'm here for you." And I felt kind of bad because it was Alder's birthday outing, but the whole fucking day, I swear, it felt like it was about me. But I didn't mean to make it about me. It's just astrologically speaking. Look at my shorts, because I'm gonna post that, or it might be posted already. I don't know. But there's a lot of fucking crazy stuff going on with astrology this week, from May 21st to the 28th. 28th. I think she said it was Pluto and Mars are like having some type of riff, and I don't know if it's common or not common. I'm not an astrologer. Marin Altman. That's why I did the shorts, and I gave her an follow her. Marin, I have a love-hate relationship with Marin. Like she's a fucking goddess. Like she's astrology is like so meant for her, like in her brain. Like watching her go and talk about astrology is like, it's like it makes me want to fucking go sit down and take a nap. And you guys know I'm like triple Sag, Moon, and Scorpio, but I'm just like, she's a Virgo. I don't remember what her other stuff is. Might say it on her page, but I mean, like, like this to her, like, but everything she said, I was like, yes, that's what I'm going through. And like, this whole week's supposed to be about Alder, but I feel like it's been about me, but not really about me. It's really just like empaths and energy, and like, and he's being really calm and really cool, but I can tell there's like the human side of him that's kind of like, it's my birthday. And I've had to remind him a few times. I go, "Do you not remember that my last birthday, you were sick? And then I got sick." And I go, "We've never been that sick, ever. And never at the same time." And we overlapped each other. So it was like he was sick for like, actually, he wasn't sick as long as me, because he's just a strong ass motherfucker. But he was sick like 2.5 weeks, and I think 3 weeks. So like basically like overlapping about 5 weeks. It was not good. And yeah, and then all the stuff living in here, we were supposed to be in the house, and had we known we were going to be in here, we would have like, because he was like, "Yeah, you're going to be in, you're going to be in," and we're like, "Okay, cool, believed him. And man, my gut kept telling me to do certain things, and I didn't do it. But anyway, I don't want to get into that ball of wax, because it's over, and that's in the past, and I forgive it, and I let it go. uh, but it's been hard, and I am like in this like fuck energy and release, but I've had to like kind of put it in his face a little bit, and I'm just like, dude, it wasn't my best birthday either, and we froze our asses off, and we had like no food, and we had to like, remember, we had to like go down our horrible, driveway that was the skating rink, and I was like, he's like, oh yeah, yeah. I'm like, we've been going on adventures and like having the time of our lives, and like, I'm like, let's put this into perspective. So yeah, so he's been cool, and so finally I told him today, I go, hey, I just watched this astrology report, and I'm like, I'm kind of like, I understand like why everything is the way it is, and I'm like, I am sorry, and I'm going to be more cognizant of it now that I know it's here. I'm going to be more aware of it. I go, but at the same time, I'm like, I go, triggers, man. I'm like, every time I turn around, I feel like people are like, pooh, pooh. It's like, I feel like I'm like bullets. Like I'm just like, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. I feel like I've been like taking bullet after bullet. So with that being said, in the last 24 hours, I've watched 2 things with Satguru, and I only have things in my feed that are good. Not good, but inspiring or thought-provoking or whatever. I let spirit choose, and then like some days they'll be like, let's go through with your pendulum. I unsubscribe to people, and then new people come in, and I'm always learning. I'm like, I feel like I'm the human Akashic record in some form sometimes. Oh, one of my spirit guys was like, by Jove, I think she's got it. I think I'm onto something there. I know yesterday I was feeling it with my Lemurian crystal when I was around people. It's like, it's almost as if now, like when I'm in public, it's like it's almost like I can't stop it in a way. It's like, it just like flows out, and only if it's meant to gravitate to my orbit. Like spirit will be like, say this to this person, and I'll say something. I said something to this lady yesterday, and you would have thought I told her she just fucking won the lottery. And she was like, thank you. And I was like, oh, you're welcome. So in that respect, I fucking love my job, and I love what I do for a living, and I love it. But in other ways, there are some days where it's just like, everyone's like, he's so awesome. I'm like, he's a fucking pedophile. And there's nothing I could do. I can't prove it. I can't. But Alder gave me some amazing insight with that. And he goes, there's a lot of pedophiles out there that would never, ever hurt a child. And I was like, what do you mean? Because of his sex addiction, when he got caught, he's had sex in public a few times and got caught and got in trouble, and he had to take these classes. Well, because of these, it's anything that's related with sex, anything. They just cram them all into one little spot because it's government mandated, and if he doesn't want to go to jail or prison, like, he has to do this, right? One of them was for peeing in public. No one could see him. He was peeing in public, but somebody drove by and, said, hey, some guy was, peeing, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I had to go. And, but it's like, when I was a kid, we did that all the time. And now it's like, people like freak the fuck out if they see you like peeing. Anyway, whatever. I don't know. So whatever. And basically, the group that he was with was like for a year, and he had all different types of sex offenders in there. That's what he was. He was considered a sex offender because he had sex in public and he peed in public. He was a sex offender. And it was hard because there were some of them in there that were like, he's like, it is hard. I feel like I need to take 7 showers when I leave there. And he's like, I don't know if I'll ever be the same, like, hearing these stories, because he was sexually molested as a child. And he's just like, it's like really hard to hear them and see their faces of excitement and joy. He's like, but then he also met like some really incredible individuals, and it's always all men and all women, which is interesting because like one of the people in his group was, gay, but it's like, so what is that? Like, what does that mean? Like, what is, like, when people go into that, it's like, what do they think of divine feminine and divine masculine? Why are boys in one, girls are in another? It's like, it's very interesting. If you, think of it that way, it's very interesting. So, there's a lot of things going on right now with that and transgender, and because we're really just beings, and it's like, we have penis and a vagina, and it's like, when we procreate and we have sex, and it's like, but sex is different to each person. And some people have a penis just to pee. They really don't ever really like sex, or they don't want to use it for that, or, you know what I mean? It's like, Alder and I've been talking so much about this kind of stuff, because people don't want to talk about this kind of stuff. And I'm going to put a link below in the description box to Verdant Vanille. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I believe is she Swedish? I think she's Swedish. But amazing, amazing episode about masturbation and, blah, blah, blah. And I just found it to be a beautiful episode, how she spent a year just touching herself and like getting to know what she likes and doesn't like. And I know because I did something very similar to that. And I just was like, that's so important and so powerful. I spoke about it in the last reading for the tribe on the Magical Medium. If you want to go and check that out on the last pick a reading for the waxing crescent meets Mercury, no, Gemini season. Anyway, I'm so animated. Ooh, lemongrass. If you have lemongrass, use it. I've been feeling that a lot lately from the ancestors. So, any hoops. Thank you, Elyse Myers. If you haven't checked out Elyse Myers, please check out her as well. If Spirit calls me to, I will put in a link as well for her in the description box below. But yeah, just all these angels like saving my ass right now and saving my soul and making me understand certain things, because, I saw this movie once where she's like, I worship the very quicksand you walk on or something, or she worships the quicksand I walk on or something. Get the metaphor. But emergency. I feel like it is an emergency for us to start talking about things and being vocal about things and sharing our stories, because I really had strong feelings about 2 of the posts from Satguru. And one of them was that he was talking about cannabis, but he called it marijuana, which kind of upset me, because if you know, marijuana is actually like the code name that the United States government used for cannabis. They knew it was really good. They knew it was a healing plant. They knew it was a healing medicine. They absolutely knew. They did studies on it, but they were like, well, shit, nobody will ever fucking take another pill again. Nobody will ever, want cocaine again. Nobody will ever, not that everybody works with cannabis, right? Cocaine has purpose. Everything has purpose. But you know what I'm saying? It was just kind of like, they were like, oh, people are going to like wake up. Their minds are going to, that's why LSD and DMT, anything that like opens our minds to our third eye, they do not want us to do. They don't want us to tap into it. And they're like, we've done studies, people have jumped off bridges. I'm sure they have. I'm sure stuff like that has happened, but you can't control anything. I mean, anybody could go drink a fucking, case of beer and do the same thing and drive their fucking, car off you know what I mean? So it's like this kind of like what's approved, what's not approved. So that kind of got me, because Sadhguru said that, he's never had any substances. He's never had to. And I was like, well, that's awesome. You're fucking awesome. Like, for real. Like, that's really fucking awesome. Oh, no, they had me do like an 8-minute thing. That's right. I didn't do a shorts thing, Spirit. because I haven't really been sleeping and my mind's been everywhere and I'm in this energy, but I feel like I'm meant to fucking do this shit when I'm in this energy. I don't know when I'll put it out, or if I'll ever put it out, or if it's just for me or just for a few people, maybe in the future. I have no idea. But I just know sometimes we're just like, speak and like, just like speak your truth and like what's happening to you. And so I was very frustrated with that, because I'm like, fucking cannabis saved my life. Abso-fucking-lutely, there's no doubt in my mind. And it has not held me back. It has helped me through so many things. But that's me. It's not for everybody. And I feel like the way he was saying it is he's categorizing it the same as like drugs and alcohol and anything that would like, change your mind. I'm like, that's fucking rad, Sadhguru. But you know what? Maybe because you were born to be Sadhguru, dude. So like, you know how to handle things differently. Like the rest of us mere mortals on this planet, it's like we are fucking human. And we are all light beings having a human experience. This is our avatar in our game. And it's like, we're here to do all these things. And yes, attaining enlightenment is awesome. And I love what he's doing. And I think it's beautiful. But I also think things can be destructive if someone is saying, hey, You don't need that. Just do this or that. Yeah, some, but not everybody. And one person's medicine isn't another person's medicine. It's different for everybody. And I've watched it with my own eyes. I've witnessed it with my own body, with my own mind, with my own soul. I was like, he doesn't know what it's like to live in my body. He doesn't know what my past experiences were or what my life was, nor does he of all the people that he's putting these messages out to. We have to have fucking compassion right now. This is like the biggest thing that's happened on this planet, as far as I know, in human experience. This is one of the biggest things that's ever happened. Of course, we've had, we know by archaeologists finding shit from 30,000 years ago that it's like nothing made that but a laser. Like, we know that Earth has been here for a playground or whatever, but I don't know if we've ever seen anything that's had such a long, like thousands of years of control like this. I don't know. It doesn't, I feel like this is the first time this has ever happened where we're like, shit, we gotta, like, free will has just gone too far. Like, some of us came in here as light workers to set shit straight. But also for myself, if I wasn't meant to be like I am now, I wouldn't have had all those experiences. I wouldn't have been raised by, tough people. I wouldn't have been raised in a place on the south, side of Chicago. Because even though I was in the south suburbs, I've also lived in the south side. I've lived on the north side. I've and I've traveled extensively and moved and seen things. And people are people, so why should it be? Right? It's like no matter where you go, people are people. Some are good, some are bad. And honestly, I genuinely remember when I first started working in Hollywood, and I would get the same, comments where people are like, they're just people. Some are going to be nice and some are going to be assholes. That's just the way it is. People are people. And so what's been really cool is to see people like Selena Gomez, Drew Barrymore. Some clip just went out about Drew Barrymore, like, stopping her show because, like, somebody, in the audience was crying. And she's like, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, I just love you so much. Like, they're like, I can't believe, like, you're 10 feet from me. And I know, I've witnessed that when I worked at Planet Hollywood for almost 2 years and saw how people, this woman almost killed Patrick Swayze. She didn't mean to, but he got to the top of the stairs. And if his huge bodyguard was not, actually he had two, weren't standing behind him, but it was the one that caught most of his body weight against the wall. If things didn't fall the way they did, we would have just watched Patrick Swayze fall on the spiral staircase down, because she was like, it was like, she couldn't even, she just like lunged for him. It was 1995. It was only how many, not 10 years after Dirty Dancing or something. He was Patrick Swayze. He's still Patrick Swayze, but I watched people do that with so many celebrities. I mean, I watched so many, and I just became numb to celebrities, and they're just fucking people. And I had celebrities who'd be like, when I went by Kelly, they were like, oh, hey, Kelly. I was like, hey, what's up? Some I got starstruck and some I didn't. And over time I realized, I'm like, they're just people. And so, I love that Sadhguru is what he's bringing. But the other thing he said that I thought was really damaging and really upset me, and I feel like I want to be like, can I have a, like, I almost want to be like, can we have a conversation about this? Because he'd probably say something, I'd be like, ooh, Sadhguru, you're right, but he said something, now I'm paraphrasing, okay, but he said something to the effect of, and I listened to it over and over to make sure that I'm not, and I know things can be taken out of context, but I'm like, well, if they are, then you need to, figure out who's doing your shit, brother, because it's from your feed, it's from your people. So, like, then are we supposed to go watch the whole thing? But even so, if it's clickbait, then that's fucked up, because somebody might take it as, biblical if they're following him that way, like Jesus. People are asking him, they're like, are you Buddha? Are you Shiva? Are you, Jesus? Like, so he said that people who get up early in the morning are go-getters, they operate different, and he's like, these are the people, he basically said, these are the people you should emulate, these are the people who you should wish to be. And again, I listened to it and I was like, I don't know if he even, because sometimes it's like the way you hear it, right? So it's what you need, it's your medicine, your mirror. Like, I get all that shit, but it wasn't like that. It was like, because I'm an empath and a telepath, the way it came out, I was like, that is not the way it's resonating out into the world. And I think people who are nocturnal like myself, and I create, and I love like working with spirit late at night. That's my medicine. I was born on Monday, on a moon day. My husband was born on a Sunday, a Sunday. He loves the sun. He loves getting up really early. I love going to bed late. I love the nighttime. That's when I'm more creative. Taylor Swift put out her album Midnights, and I was like, my birthday sister, like, yeah, like I fucking get it. And I was like, please don't put that kind of shit out there. People are going to get all fucking fucked up in their head and be like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get up early and follow this schedule? If you need to follow a schedule, reach out to spirit and say, how can you, please, spirit, help? You know, and your languaging and your connection with spirit, you say, can you please, you know, supply me or provide me with a form of structure that would be beneficial to me and my process and my makeup and where I am in my consciousness and my enlightened being and who I am, because I'm a light being, but I'm fucking human and I've been through shit, and each of us have been through shit, all different shit. And I don't know Sakura's, like, and now I'm like, I gotta research the whole fucking background, because, you know, I don't bring it to you if I don't fucking speak truth, because that's what I do. That's my job. I'm a fucking human bullshit barometer, and I realize that I've been more in the divine masculine, and I know that's my masculine, like, pushing back, like, hey, like Drew, when I saw Drew, she was like, hey, who's like, why are you crying? Is someone making you cry? You know, like, because that's her masculine right now. But she also brings out her feminine, and she gets really emotional. Like, it's hard to be vulnerable right now. And it's right now, the divine feminine and masculine, we need them both. They don't have to be equal fucking every day, but we can't just let, you know, this energy or that energy, Mars and Venus, like, we need them. We need them both. But I was like, you know, I'm trying very hard not to judge or bring him in or throw him under the bus. It's more like, I just want everyone to be aware, you know, just really listen to what people are saying. There are a lot of people who are more followers than leaders, and I'm more of a leader than a follower. And that's why I am telling you, as a fucking leader, be your own leader. Don't follow anybody. Even me. Listen to what I say, sure. Take what resonates. The rest, let it fucking fly by you, man. That's why I have the magical medium. You know, this is for me and my life experiences and what I'm sharing with you. Everything I'm going through. That's why it's Tallulah's life. If you subscribe, it's because you're interested. Maybe it's just for Tallulah talk. Maybe it's for this. Maybe it's for that. Maybe it's for my weird fucking videos. Maybe it's for my singing. Maybe it's for my acting. Maybe it's for, you know, my truth. I don't know. Maybe it's my comedy. But whatever it is, I am that being. I'm a triple fucking Sag, Moon, and Scorpio, and I have got to shine. I'm a peacock, and I have to fly. So I know shit's going to get real, and I'm going to keep talking about this stuff because I think we need to keep talking about this stuff. And I'm so grateful that my honey is working on his brew far away right now, because I was like, I need some space. We've been having a lot of together time, which has been awesome and really beautiful. But yesterday there was like these moments of like, where I was like, I felt like I was apologizing all day. I'm like, I'm so sorry, that person just needed me. And he's like, oh, it's okay. He's like, I know. Or I was like, I'm sorry, I have my camera out. I know you don't want my camera out, but I feel like I'm meant to do it. He's like, I know. And I was just like, there are going to be certain things in certain times, you know, that I'm not going to always be there. And I think I've self-soothed myself. I haven't self-soothed myself enough, and I put a lot of into everybody else, but I'm tired. And I need to kind of navigate my energy differently. And I'm really excited for this one when it's Sagittarius, because I think it's going to be really fucking awesome. And I just know that Alder and I, like, things are just good. Things are good, but also, like, we have to talk about the dark shit. Get it out. 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 You know, and the diet, I know, like, Alder and I, I'm like, we've got it, this is it. I'm like, I'm not joking. Like, after this, like, we have to get really serious about it. We get so good, and then we get so lazy, and then we get so good, and then we get so lazy. And it's mostly because of the way we're living. And I do really believe in my heart that when we finally have, you know, running water and electricity and or solar or whatever it is that helps the electricity, I know, I can feel it in my gut that things are going to finally come together. 2904 is our angel number. If you resonate with that, or maybe it's 29 and the number 4, or maybe you're seeing those combination, add it all together. But I'm working this shit out, and fucking cannabis helps me so much on so many levels. So I'm like, I can't let a guru or somebody, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not my medicine. But when you're going to millions of people, Just be mindful of what you're putting out into the universe. Even when I have these talks with you, I always have to say to Spirit, like, you know, anyway, I'm about to get cut off. Until next time, I love you so much. Take good care of yourselves and each other, and think for yourself. Meditate.